don't fear no turf. We hustle, we grind, we prove our worth. Under bright lights, we'll shake the earth. Spikers turf.
A new story is about to be written, and history is waiting to be claimed as we are one step closer to crowning a new spikersturf Open Conference champion. Savouge storms into the finals with momentum on their side and a stunning semi-final sweep. When it mattered the most, it was their first ever victory over the King Crunchers that brought them to the doorstep of their best finish yet. After 3 years of heartbreak, they are holding on to this moment. But greatness is standing just across the net. Criss has ruled the tournament with authority after dropping only one match all conference long. Battle-tested and championship-proven, they enter the finals with one goal in mind: protect the throne. In a best-of-3 showdown, every set matters. Every point counts. Game 1 isn't just the beginning, this is the tone setter. Fiona Bacani here reporting from the sidelines. And the finals begin now at the 2026 spikersturf Open Conference.
San Juan Arena is the home of the Open Conference Championships of the spikersturf in 2026. It's the Spin Doctors, 3-time second place finishers and now first-time finalists, and they're not just happy to be here. They're looking to win all the way, and they will take on a nemesis that has been a thorn on their side this entire Open Conference. 5-time finalist, 1-time champion, the Criss King Crunchers, looking for their second straight championship in 2 years. Welcome to game number 1 of the finals of the Open Conference of the spikersturf. Savouge Spin Doctors and the Criss King Crunchers. Thanks for watching us on One Sports Plus Pilipinas Live. I'm Eric Nipan alongside Paneng the Kinig Sworder. After 13 games, we're finally here, down to the final 2 games and a third game if necessary.
Well, actually for me, I'm excited for this match, especially that the Savouge Spin Doctors has been playing their best volleyball so far, and they're looking to have a best finish for this spikersturf. But Criss naman is looking for another championship, so this is going to be a high-level match.
And it's the best matchup that we can offer, because these two teams have been going at it for so long. And take a look at how it went down for them in their semi-final stint.
Well, the Savouge Spin Doctors clinched their ticket to the finals after sweeping their semi-finals game. And it all started with that 5-set win against the Criss King Crunchers. And with that win, they were able to officially close their 8-game losing streak against the King Crunchers. And with that win also, they were able to build momentum, and they were able to sweep their game against the Alpha Insurance Protectors and the AEP Capstars. And of course, coming into this match, they're looking to get this win and hopefully have a best finish for the spikersturf.
That's right. Their only losses, the 2 losses they had in the preliminaries, coming against, like what Paneng mentioned, against the King Crunchers. In the meantime, this is the King Crunchers' record in the semis.
Well, actually, they had a very good elimination round, but the King Crunchers tasted their first loss of the semifinals care of the Savouge Spin Doctors. So that was a 5-set loss, but they were able to bounce back and sweeping their game against Alpha Insurance Protectors and the AEP Capstars. But we know that Criss is a battle-tested squad, and they have the momentum actually. So coming to this game, of course, they are looking to bounce back and get the win of finals game 1.
Well, both teams have so much firepower. It was really tough to narrow it down to just 2 players, 1 for each team. But these are the 2 that you have to put your attention on, how good they've been been so far in this entire conference.
Of course, Mark Calado and Jude Garcia, both of these players are products of the FEU Tamaraos volleyball program, and both of these players lead their squads respectively, with Mark Calado actually being a picture of consistency for the Spin Doctors, even scoring at 28 points during their last semifinals match. But of course, the four-time MVP of Spikers Turf, Jude Garcia, has been playing tremendously for the King Crunchers. But both of these players, if they continue to play with this momentum, this head-to-head will definitely be a huge factor for both squads.
Well, they're not going to be getting their touches if not for their outstanding and very talented setters that have been doing so well throughout the 13 games they played in the preliminaries and the semifinals. And we're talking about these two.
And of course, this setter matchup actually will be very crucial for this series. Imperial has been solid in orchestrating the offense for the Spin Doctors. But of course, Villados naman on the other hand has been consistent as well for the King Crunchers and even leading the league in excellent sets. So it's actually a classic contrast because emerging chemistry versus established connections, and whoever wins this battle could have the edge for the finals.
All right, you can see Villados has better numbers than Imperial, but you've got to note that Villados, they rarely use Jericho Adahar throughout the entire 13 games they played. Meanwhile, Vince Imperial has been subbed consistently an almost even amount of time with JC and Narciso, which is why obviously his numbers a little lower, but they're as talented as one another. So it's going to be a tough toss-up between these two teams. All right, I know you guys have a lot of ideas, opinions. If you want to chime in, just send those via Instagram, Facebook, or X. Use the hashtag SpikersTurf2026. It is the finals. It is game number one. Who's going to take it? The Spin Doctors, the King Crunchers. We'll find out. We'll get set number one to you right away. But before that, we'll send it courtside for the lineup of both teams.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Spikers Turf 2026 Open Conference. Live in San Juan City. This is match number 38 of the tournament. Game one of the best-of-3 final series between the Savouge Aesthetic Spin Doctors and their opponents, the Criss King Crunchers. Introducing the two referees officiating this match. Our first referee is Josie Del Rosario, International Referee. Second referee, Joven Racelis, National Referee. Let's now meet the starters. First, for the Savouge Aesthetic Spin Doctors. Outside spiker number 1, Shawi Caritativo. Middle blocker number 4, Gilles Torres. Opposite hitter number 6, Mark Calado. Setter number 13, Vince Imperial. Outside spiker number 21, Louis Ramirez. And middle blocker number 25, JP Bukawai. Starting libero number 5, Rico Marmeto. The head coach for Savouge is Sidney Calderon. And now the starters for the Criss King Crunchers. Outside spiker number 1, Nico Almendras. Another outside hitter number 2, Jeron Requinton. Opposite hitter number 5, Jude Garcia. Setter number 9, Eddie Villados. Middle blocker number 20, Lloyd Josapat. And the other middle blocker number 24, Popoy Colinares. Starting libero number 18, John Philip Pepito. The head coach for Criss is Anusorn, Coach Ty Puntit. Ladies and gentlemen, this is game 1 of the finals between Savouge and Criss for the Spikers Turf, where power meets passion.
Coach Shawi, I mean that Coach Cindy Calderon putting in Shawi Caritativo back in the starting lineup. And this is the strongest 6. We've seen this 6 start multiple times so far this season, and they've been very effective. Meanwhile, a big change here for Coach Ty Puntit. Nico Almendras, Sharon Riquinton in the starting lineup. Campton will be coming off the bench, and there's going to be a report on Alcio Cupiteo, but he is not in the starting lineup. Fiona will tell you more about it in just a little bit. So what do you think about how both teams are stacked up to start set number 1 of this game number 1, Paneng?
Well, actually, we saw a lot of adjustments for their starting players. So definitely, both of the coaches really planned this game 1 really well, because especially during their semifinals round, they played for 5 thrilling sets where Criss lost that game, but it was a close one.
Yep.
So definitely, Coach Ty Puntit making these adjustments as early as now, start of this game 1.
Remember, in the 3 meetings between these 2 teams, 2 wins for the King Crunchers, only 1 win for the Spin Doctors. So despite the fact that it was a win in the semifinals, the most recent matchup, it is still, you know, the big advantage psychologically is with the King Crunchers.
That's
Calado catching the corner.
Yeah, that was inside first point for the Spin Doctors, and we would expect a lot of sets for Mark Calado, especially that he is the leading scorer for the Spin Doctors. And we discussed earlier also that his last game where he tallied 28 points for their squad. So that's a lot from Mark Calado.
Villados goes to Riquinton, and Riquinton through the double block.
Of course, Riquinton didn't start during their last game against the AEP Capstars, but he was still able to score 15 points. He was the second best scorer for their squad.
And that was also his second best scoring game in this open conference. Riquinton, a former beach volleyball player, gets an ace for the first break point of these King Crunchers.
Back-to-back points for Riquinton.
Former UAAP Rookie of the Year back in season 81. A 3-time SEA Games bronze medalist as a beach volleyball national team player. Serve is into the net for the second point of the Spin Doctors. In the meantime, Shawi Caritativo, the heart and soul of this team, I mean, his emotions really fires up the Spin Doctors every time they're on the court. Colinares got it.
And there you go. When the King Crunchers gets that good first ball, sakto sa setter, they will activate their middle attackers right away. Take a look at that, leaving only 1 blocker for Colinares.
Good pass by Shawi. Calado got it.
2 blockers was there, expecting that opposite hit from Calado, but there was no block touch.
Gilles Torres, a huge exhale before the serve. Only 3 points in their last game, that 3-set win against the Insurance Protectors. Good pass by Almendras. Garcia pushing through Ramirez. Here's a chance ball for the King Crunchers. Villados to the pipe. Hang on. There's a challenge by Coach Calderon. This is a net fault against Garcia on that joust versus Ramirez.
Especially the set was too tight and parang medyo nag-overset na rin.
Yeah, and I think Garcia admits already, so no need for the complete process to go through.
Good sportsmanship, huh?
Well, you can't get away with it anyway because there's a video.
review.
So 1-point lead here for the Spin Doctors. Villados reverses and he touches the net. So back-to-back net faults for the King Crunchers. Here's the bench of the Spin Doctors. Elbow of Villados touching the net. Back-to-back break points for the Spin Doctors. Good-looking serve, a really bad pass by Almendras. And that one way outside.
Yeah, he mistimed this approach from that out-of-system set.
And Coach Taibun did. We're looking at him. He's signaling a timeout already. And this is now a 4-point run for the Spin Doctors. Let's listen in. Spin Doctors fans in attendance here in San Juan. A lot of them anticipating, of course, a huge finish and nothing bigger than a gold around the necks of these Spin Doctors. There's a side out by Jude Garcia.
And that was a good response from the King Crunchers after that timeout from Coach Taibun did. Especially that as early as this first part of the first set, they are already down by 3 points earlier.
Excellent receive by Luis Ramirez. Calado through the double block. Right now, Calado is 3 for 3.
That's right. Taas ng attack efficiency dito ni Calado. But Almendras was already there. Ang ganda ng position niya, but nakapasok pa rin in between those two blockers.
Which shows you how impressive that shot was by Calado. I mean, Josafat is no ordinary middle blocker. But a service fault by Calado. Can't blame him. At this level, you have to serve hard because you have to disrupt the first pass of your opponent. Almendras, former NU Bulldog. Imperial. This one a little too close to the net. And Riquinton getting a double high five from Coach Taibo did after the monster block.
It was close to the net and drop ball straight to the arms of the Quinton. Kaya naman that's an easy point for the King Crunchers. And with this good run, mapapatawag ng timeout ang Savouge. Let's listen in.
Tumulong ka na sa receive kasi tatargetin talaga to. If ever man float serve lang, gumanon ka na siya. Ito, may magko-cover dito sa ano. Guys, tulong-tulong tayo sa receive.
Luis Ramirez and the Spin Doctors, no matter what happens here in this final series, this will still be the best finish for the Spin Doctors in franchise history. Ricky Palu, the president of Sports Vision, and with the family of Coach Taibun supporting him in this final series against the Spin Doctors. Again, prior to this for Savouge, they've only finished third. There's JP Bugawan with his first point today. Will send us to our first technical timeout. 2-point lead for the Spin Doctors against the King Crunchers.
Coming to you live from San Juan, this is the 2026 Spikersturf Open Conference, where after years of falling just short, the Spin Doctors are finally here on the brink of gold in their first ever finals appearance. From bronze finishes to missing the podium just last year, their journey has been defined by a series of almosts. But this time, something has changed. After almost 3 years, finally na-break na namin yung sumpa, sabi nga ni Coach Sid, and it was that breakthrough that fueled a dominant semi-sweep, built on momentum, belief, and a team fully locked in on one goal, the finals. But even in victory, the message was clear: reset. Back to zero ulit dahil challenger pa rin kami, sabi nga ni Coach. And with a mindset of less pressure and more joy, Savouge finds freedom in their game. This is a team built not just on power but purpose, operating on a system rooted in trust, preparation, and heart. Now, one step away from history, Savouge proves that no giant is unbeatable and no dream is too far. Back to you, Eric and Panay.
All right, thanks, Fiona, as Requinton scores his second straight point. It is, already a feat in itself, making it to the finals, as what Fiona was reporting for the Spin Doctors. But the job's not done, and they've already beaten the Spin Doctors, so they have that belief, Paneng, that they can do it again.
And it was not an easy win also for the Spin Doctors. They really worked hard to get that win. And from there, alam na nila na kaya nila makasabay and matalo itong King Crunchers. So, but they had a good start here on the first set. But ngayon naman, nakadikit dito ang King Crunchers. Isa na lang yung lamang na inaalagaan nila.
Requinton has been tough to stop here in this first set. And a block by Colinares.
The set was a bit too low and too close to the net. But Colinares was able to get that block one-on-one on that side of the court.
At least a second point already for the former Golden Spiker from UST, Popoy Colinares. Requinton make that Garcia with a block against Caritativos.
Well, that was a single block by Jude Garcia. Ang ganda nung set na yon kay Caricativo, but Jude Garcia, knowing him, he has that elevation and hang time. Talagang nabantayan niya yung palo na yon on the open.
And that second break point for the King Crunchers gives them a 1-point lead. Another block, but a net touch first.
That was a triple block. And kung walang net violation doon, it will be a kill block because there was no coverage on the side of the Spin Doctors.
I think it's on the way up, either from Colinares or Requinton. Villados goes to Jude. Off the chest of Diones. That's not coming back. Good effort though by Vince Imperial, crashing right at the A-boards.
That was a good effort, but take a look at that elevation of Jude Garcia. Really hitting that ball on top of the blockers. High contact.
Only a 1-point lead for the King Crunchers, 11 serving 10. Bad pass. The save is good. Got to play on. Garcia against a single block. Oh, what a rejection. Mark Galano ties the game.
Was a good effort and a good save by the Spin Doctors. They were able to send that ball over to the side of the King Crunchers.
Who were already celebrating. That took off some of, that readiness.
They were just watching their attack ni Jude Garcia. Hindi na nakapwesto na maayos ang coverage nila.
Shawi with a nice looking serve. Garcia against a double block, goes down the line. That was touched by Bim Diones.
Yeah, bumawi naman siya after the kill block. And this time with a higher attack point. Targeting down the line.
Bad pass by Marmeto. Garcia with the dig. Almendras easy over. Chance ball here for the Spin Doctors. Imperial. Ramirez against a single block. Now one kept alive by Shawi. The save by Marmeto. Imperial will send it over. It's a free ball for the King Crunchers. Villados combination play. Garcia with an open block.
Of course, free ball, and you would expect a combination play from the side of the King Crunchers, but it was just simple play. Open, middle, and then opposite, leaving only one blocker for Jude Garcia.
Overpass, and Almendras ready at the net with a dump.
Well, earlier, the King Crunchers had a slow start, but now ang ganda na ng nilalaro nila. They are up by 3 points. Timeout here by Savouge.
Hanggat hindi pa yan umabot ng 24, may pag-asa pa tayo. Kailangan lang talaga natin sagain. Habaan natin yung pasensya natin. Gusto nila manalo, gaano natin gusto manalo din. Gusto nila tayo, trabaho din tayo.
Well, passing has become a bit of an issue for the Spin Doctors. Imperial didn't even bother picking it up because he would have been charged with an overreaching violation.
because he was in the back row.
Yep.
But so far here, Criss has been loading on their serves, forcing the Savouge Spin Doctors not to have good first ball.
But Calado getting the side out on that attack. Blockers are ready because it was an out-of-system play again for the Spin Doctors. We haven't had that many combination plays from them or attacks from the middle. Josafat, speaking of attacks from the middle.
But at least a good side out for Criss, not allowing the Spin Doctors to have a good run.
The first meeting between these two teams was a 3-set win for the King Crunchers, and then in the second round, a 4-set win for the King Crunchers as well. And again, in case you're just joining us, the only win by the Spin Doctors was in the semis, and it was a 5-setter. Double sub for Coach Sidney Calderon as JC and Narciso comes in along with Joven de la Vega. Full front line for the Spin Doctors, de la Vega, Bugawan, and Ramirez. And then Caritativo with the option for the back row hit. Villados to Garcia. Down the line, Biones popping it up. Good cover in the back zone by Requinton. Garcia again blocked by De La Vega.
Good check.
Excellent defense again by Caritativo. Cross-court hit. Pepito popping it up. Requinton drills it in. And it seems like the Spin Doctors, Paneng, just sort of slowed down at the tail end of that rally.
Because they thought that there will be a foot fault because Requinton didn't go for that full approach.
Yep.
And it was a back row set. So parang they were just watching, waiting for that whistle. But you know, if there's no whistle from the referees, the play continues and they have to be ready.
Well, they do have a challenge and they used it. We'll see the result. Well, it was pretty clear. Requinton stepped on the line or passed the attack line. Well, question here is, where was the ball? Was it above the net or below the net?
So we don't know yet. This might take a while because that one is a different setup. Let's take a look at this.
Oh, that's a foot fault. They won't check where the ball is in terms of height. As long as he stepped on the line, they're going to call it a foot fault.
That was a good challenge by Savouge.
So from down 3, Coach Calderon and the Spin Doctors are back within 1. JC and Narciso out of the University of Perpetual Help, so he's a former Alta. Could serve, better pass. Villados goes to Jude. That was maybe, you can say, expected already. It's such a good pass. 2-point lead for the King Crunchers, Paneng.
Well, that was a good play also for the King Crunchers. And we know that Jude Garcia, even though he's in the back row, he is still a threat in that area, especially with that good jump and hang time. He will definitely be one of the leading scorers for the King Crunchers.
All right, we'll take a look at the history of the Spin Doctors in the Spikers turf.
And so far, this is their best finish yet because they made it to the finals. And even though they already have 2 bronze medal finish, and with this conference, ito yung inaantay nila, na malamangan nila yung records nila all throughout the years. And so far, this is the best volleyball season for the Spin Doctors.
Meantime, for the King Crunchers,
And King Crunchers naman, ito, madalas, finals appearance, itong squad na to, and they have the experience, they have the capabilities of winning another championship match. But of course, they will take it one game at a time, especially now that they are having a good start for this game.
UAAP Season 88 volleyball is in full swing. Watch the games every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday on the Pilipinas Live app. Also available on the UAAP Varsity channel and One Sports, because legends start here off the block. One legend from UST, Jaron Requinton, with the side out.
Well, there were 3 blockers in front of him, but he was still able to get that point using the hands of the middle blocker.
Excuse me, that was a break point for the King Crunchers. Lead is back to 3. Ramirez finally sides out for the Spin Doctors.
Really avoiding the down-the-line block of Criss. Targeting cross-court because there was no middle blocker for Louis Ramirez.
Still a full front line for JC and Narciso and the Spin Doctors. Combination play, Requinton rejected, and it falls on the line.
Good run here by the Spin Doctors, cutting down the lead to only 1 point.
Take a look at this break point off the block. And Ramirez will rest. In comes Hero Austria, team captain. Coming off his best game yet this season, 9 points against the Insurance Protectors in their last semi-final match. Requinton battles at the net with De La Vega, wins the joust. Shawi rejected, a push by Bugawan. Requinton again, blocked by De La Vega. Garcia, and right off the shoulder of Big Diones. Jude Garcia using these Spin Doctors as target practice.
But take a look at that target down the line once again. And medyo mataas din yung dating ng bola. Mataas pero ang bilis. Kaya naman hindi ganun din ka-okay naging reaction ng libero ng Spin Doctors.
Well, Diones will rest. He deserves one. Marmeto is in the game for the Spin Doctors. Solid block. Molinares against Caritativo.
And I think that was Villados who got the kill block.
Let's take a look. Yep.
It was Villados targeting down the line, but Villados was ready for that block.
This one going over on the first touch. They call it net touch here against the King Crunchers, and a challenge my coach Taibun did, net fault challenge. Meantime, just to let you know, Jude Garcia already with 8 points, leading scorer for the King Crunchers.
So a net touch was called on the blockers of Criss. But Colinares was saying that because he was the only one left there in sa net waiting for the block, but sa kanya natawag yung net touch, and he was saying that there was no net touch. So that's why they went for this video challenge.
Oh, is it the foot of Bugawan?
Yes, looks like it, but... So, yes, there was a net touch, but it was not on Colinares. It was on JP Bugawan when he went for that quick hit.
So now a 4-point lead, not anymore, as Josapat sends it outside. So a 3-point game here in set number 1 of game 1, this best of 3. Villados to Garcia. He has been a tough cover for the Spin Doctors. Caritativo. Requinton pops it up. Jude again going for number 9. There it is.
Unstoppable itong si Jude Garcia. Even though he's in the back row, he has been producing a lot of points for Criss.
He could be in the parking lot and still score with the way he swings. I mean, Jude Garcia.
With so much talent.
Yep. He is the reigning MVP. Chance ball here. De La Vega got it.
But it all started with that botch play from Criss, sending a easy ball to the side of the Spin Doctors. And of course, take a look at that opposite hit.
Despite these highlights for the Spin Doctors, they're still down by 3 points. But Calado returns along with Imperial. Gilles Torres also back on the floor for the Spin Doctors. Garcia. I mean, you can put him anywhere. Opposite, open.
Back row.
It doesn't really matter.
I think quick hit naman minsan.
4-point lead restored for the King Crunchers. 3 points away from securing set number 1. The Quinton with the serve. Austria, perfect pass. Combination play. Off the head of Almendras. That was the Calado hit. Caritativo got it. Side out. Spin Doctors.
That was a good target for Caricativo.
Take another look here. Now that's a dig. You can use your forehead. You can use any part of your body, in fact, as Caritativo finishes the rally. Austria will check back in. He's okay, but that will probably leave a mark. Ramirez back in the game. Almendras makes up for getting hit in the face with a side out.
But he saw that there was no cross-court block. And yun na lang yung tinarget niya. Dinin niya yung bola doon on the sharp cross-court.
Right now, if you're the Spin Doctors, they can't afford just trading side outs. Got to score break points. They got to do it now. Colinares in the 3 meetings scored in double digits once against the Spin Doctors. Free ball, and Calado puts it away.
But it was a good read actually by Quinton for that over ball. But yun nga lang, sakto kay Calado on the opposite, and hindi na niya hinayaan mag-set up yon. He went for the 1-2 play.
That's only a side out. Got to score break points, and that's not going to help. Gilles Torres puts their opponents, the King Crunchers, at set point, 24-20. Meantime, Eco Adahar checking in for the first time today, along with Isai Marasigan. Full front line for Eco Adahar. Bugawan rejected. And it's going to be double contact against Bugawan. It's a monster block, Paneng, that wins the first set for the King Crunchers.
And it was a good block also because ang ganda na nung bantay na yon.
Yep.
One-on-one na lang in the middle and getting that first set win courtesy of that kill block from the crisscross King Crunchers.
25-20, a 5-point win. King Crunchers against the Spin Doctors, set number 1 of game number 1. Back here in San Juan, where King Crunchers won the first set against the Spin Doctors in game number 1 of this best-of-3 finals in the Open Conference. We'll show you some of the highlights in case you're just tuning into us now.
But actually, for that set number 1, Savouge had a very good start. They led as much as 4 points, and everyone was really contributing in the scoring department. Everyone was enjoying. They had a good start, but not until itong crisscross. Gumana na yung firepower nila. Their center had a lot of options, even in the back row with Jude Garcia being always ready for their squad and even scoring 10 points just for set number 1. And also, sa latter part na yan ng set number 1, their blocks really worked well. And floor defense for Criss. Everyone was playing really well for the King Crunchers, and they were able to get that set number 1 win. And looking at the numbers, Criss dominating on the attack department with 16 attack points and also 5 kill blocks compared to 2 blocks of the Spin Doctors. They did have more errors, 8 errors, especially during the first part of that set. Service error, attack errors, but nakabawi naman sila because they had a good momentum and talagang hindi na nila binatawan yung magandang laro na yon, talking about Criss.
Much work to do for Mark Calado right now with 7 points. Nobody in double digits for the Spin Doctors. Garcia meanwhile with 10, and you know that's just the tip of the iceberg. If you're talking about Jude Garcia, the 3-time MVP of the Spikers turf.
And also for Criss, when they need a point, Jude Garcia is always ready. Even though he's in the back row, ang taas ng attack efficiency niya doon. And of course, pag nagkakaroon sila ng mga adjustments na even though Jude Garcia is their highest scorer, nadidistribute ng maayos yung bola even with their middle hitters.
Wow. They had 5 blocks in the first set, out-blocking the Spin Doctors by 3, and they start off set number 2 with another block panning.
And it was just a single block there by Requinton.
By the way, they also closed out the first set with a block.
That's right.
By Lloyd Josafat. Meantime, a service fault to give the Spin Doctors a free point. But you can't really, you hear that a lot from the analysts we have here on Signal. You can't rely on these free points. You've got to score your own. You've got to score your break points. And that's what the Spin Doctors need to do here in set number 2. Villados, beautiful set, but this time, Austria ready for the rejection.
And it was actually the double block between Austria and Torres. Take a look at that. Ang ganda ng bantay na yon ni Austria. He is starting for the Spin Doctors for this set number 2.
Good serve by Shawi. Perfect pass though by Pipito. Requinton tries again. This one right on the line. Requinton now with 6, second leading scorer for the King Crunchers.
Magandang bawo yon after the kill block earlier.
Perfect pass. Marmeto, Calado. And this one is not coming back. Menard Guerrero, former UAAP best libero, couldn't control it.
He was already there,
Yeah.
guarding that line, but yun nga lang, hindi ganun kaganda yung defense niya na yun.
Almendras, good pass. Sharon. And this one got out of control from the hands of Hero Austria.
But you could see the effort from the Spin Doctors really went for that second touch.
Sharon Requinton, so aggressive today.
That's right.
7 points already. Meantime, Bugawan with an answer. Bugawan, that's only his 3rd point. Calado now with 8. Almendras. The dig by Caritativo. Austria off the block, and it lands inside.
Right on the line.
That is at least the 2nd block here in the 2nd set for the King Crunchers. And it's going to be on Garcia. Garcia now with 11. Imperial. Bugawan blocked again, this time by Villados. Bugawan with a left hand. Guerrero, good save. Chance ball here for the Spin Doctors. Wait a minute, we've got a challenge. Coach Calderon wants the play and the rally stopped.
Net fault. Could it be from the block or from the set?
I believe it is from the save of Guerrero that went into the net, and then a lot of action near the net from the King Crunchers. And you can see on the face of Coach Calderon, though, a lot of concern.
Yes. Parang the sense of urgency,
Yeah.
because this is a very important game.
Yeah, game number one, you've been in many championships, but game number one has to be the most important of all, right?
Yes, well, of course, because if you win this game, definitely you will have the momentum carrying it until the rest of the series.
So it is a touch, I think, on Josafat.
When he went for the block. So a good challenge for Savouge.
They're up by 1, 5 serving 4. This one into the net for Austria. Austria has really taken a lot off the kilometers per hour on his serve. He used to serve just all out every time. So 5-all.
But during that last serve, parang medyo iningatan niya yung serve niya eh. It's not that loaded.
Good pass by Austria. Great hands.
Oh!
And JP Bugawan. He likes this. Very rarely you see middle blockers do this. I mean, he likes this sort of fake jump, a little delay, and then knock it away. There's the little fake.
Yes.
Actually, it's not a fake. He just stops for a second, right?
No, it's actually a fake because he was going for the slide attack, and we know the slide attack should be continuous, diba, the approach. But then because of that delay, sumabay yung blocker niya with the slide attack timing, but parang naging back quick na lang bigla yung set na yon.
Meantime, Lloyd Josafat. That's why he's an Alas Pilipinas middle blocker. Former UE Red Warrior. Combination play. And caritativo. Got it.
He really avoided the double block of Criss.
And believe it or not, only the second point of Xavi Caritativo. Requinton, so quick. I mean, the blockers were just converging, the two blockers, but the ball already passed them.
But it was also because of the set of Villados. Now, it was not a high set. It was a low and fast set for his open hitters. Talagang, if you're the blockers of Savouge, you really have to position yourself fast and your footwork should be faster para makahabol sa fast sets ng Criss.
How about that high set for Calado? Puts it away. 1 point lead. Spin Doctors. Set number 2.
You are still watching Game 1 of the finals for the 2026 Spikers Turf Open Conference. Now, earlier this season, Adi Villada shared his goal of helping elevate men's volleyball in the Philippines, and now he is so proud to see that vision coming to life. With the level of competition rising across the board, he says lahat nag-level up, turning every matchup into a battle against the best. Now, Criss' journey hasn't been easy, dealing with injuries and miscommunication along the way, but against a hungry Savouge, the team that handed them their only loss this season, the defending champions are determined to protect their crown. But for Adi, it goes beyond the title. It's about heart, pride, and purpose. Na sana sa huli, maalala sila hindi lang sa panalo kundi sa tibay, sa samahan at sa pusong hindi sumusuko. Laban at happy-happy pa rin hanggang muli. Balik sa inyo, Eric at Paning.
Thank you, Fiona. He's the team captain, former Arellano chief Adrian Villados, a member of Alas Pilipinas, and best setter and finals MVP in the only championship of the King Crunchers. Serve into the net. Mike Caritativo ties the game at 8.
I think that was the second service error. Second in a row for the Spin Doctors.
Barmeto with the pass. Hero Austria off the block. This time it bounces outside. And a nice little pirouette by Hero Austria.
Take a look at that again. Yeah, the block was there, but I like that reaction after that point.
That is what makes Spikers Turf so much fun. Villados to Colinares, gets it through.
And magandang bawi naman yun from Colinares. because the off-the-block point from Hero Austria earlier was from his block, but this time getting that point from the quick hit.
Reverse to the opposite. This one, Calado will score. He's got 9 already. Calado out of Bolinao, Pangasinan, a former UAAP Juniors MVP.
Overset.
And Almendras couldn't do anything with it.
Yeah, because the set was too near the net and it was not that high as well. Well, you can see from this replay na ang bilis nung dating ng bola.
So a 2-point lead here for the Spin Doctors. Almendras trying to make up for the error and he misses. So 2 straight break points for the Spin Doctors, and they are up by 3. Noel Campton checking in for the first time. He's a usual starter, but today he comes off the bench, packs a lot of firepower. Had 16 points against the Spin Doctors in the semifinals. And a service outside for Calado.
Yeah, during their semifinals match between Criss and Savouge, Campton actually had 16 points. He's one of the leading scorers for their squad.
Jude, Austria, perfect pass, gets it back. Hero Austria, cross-court hit. And Bernard Guerrero saying it was outside. It was called in by the lines judge, so naturally a ball in, ball out challenge by the assistant coaching staff of Taibundit.
Because you could see the wide angle of Hero Austria's attack, that open hit. And medyo na late yung defense ng Criss, and they thought that it was going outside. But it was called inside, so of course they will challenge that call.
This looks, it's not even close to being out.
Right on the line. So unsuccessful challenge. The point will stay with the Spin Doctors, but because of that, they are up by 3 points.
And surprisingly, it actually happened in front of the coaching staff, so you'd think they had a better view. That was a wasted challenge. Good pass. No, actually, it's an overpass, and that's got to be an overreach.
Oh!
And that touch as well on Villados.
Medyo pasok na yung first ball, but he still went for that 1-2 play.
And there's a net touch on the right arm as well. Biggest lead, 4 points. Spin Doctors, set 2. Garcia, cross-court hit, and a touch from Calado, and a side out, King Crunchers.
Much needed point for the King Crunchers. Earlier, they are down by 4 points, but this time they are trailing by 3 points. So the momentum is on the side of the Spin Doctors.
Former spiker from DLSU, Noel Campton, perfect pass by Marmeto, but Requinton with a rejection against Bugawan. Caritativo, coverage by Marmeto. Imperialis blocked, and in fact, all right, so the call was no block touch.
Yes.
That is what the Spin Doctors are challenging.
Yeah, because it looked like the ball didn't go over the net.
Imperial is known to do this every once in a while. Take the second ball and actually spike it. Did that a lot in the semifinals. Their second semifinals game, that was against the AEP Capstars. By the way, AEP Capstars 3-set win earlier in the battle for third against the Alpha Insurance Protectors. So no block touch, challenge unsuccessful for Coach Calderon.
So the point will stay with Criss. Earlier, 4 yung lamang ng Savouge, and this time, 2 na lang ang kailangan habulin ng Criss.
Serve going to be out for Campton. JP Bugawan to serve, another former FEU Tamarao. Villados to Requinton. Bugawan keeping it alive. Caritativo chasing it down. Austria from the back row. Captain picks it up. Riquinton off. Bugawan and outside.
But it was actually a good play and a very convincing approach from Josafat na parang sa kanya isiset ni Villados yung bola for the quick hit and leaving only one blocker for Riquinton.
Only a side out. Still a 3-point lead as you look at the numbers for Lloyd Josafat, who's serving.
Oh, ball is still alive.
Good dig. Chance ball here. First touch by Villados. Villados will hit. Imperial. Beautiful set, but what a block by Boy Colinares for the break point.
Well, the set was not that high actually for Torres. And Colinares was already there for the block. Take a look at that one-handed block from Popoy Colinares.
So 2 in a row again, scored by King Crunchers. Beautiful combination play between Torres and Caritativo for the side out. And 2-point lead once again, Paneng for the Spin Doctors.
And it all started with that good first ball and a fake set from Imperial na akala mo kay Torres is a set. So leaving only one blocker for Caritativo. But we know Caritativo na even though he's facing down the line, but when he saw that block, iiwas niya yon and target cross-court.
Let's take a look at what our key players are doing so far in a set and a half. Scalado and Garcia.
But so far, itong dalawang to, unstoppable for their respective squad. And whenever they need the point, these players are always ready. But we discussed it during the pregame that both of these players are actually product of the FEU volleyball program. And so far, you could see their type of play. Ang taas ng talon nila, ang ganda ng hang time. Both are opposite hitters and really trying to avoid the blockers. And ang hirap nilang matouch because even though they're facing cross-court, kaya-kaya nilang targetin yun down the line. And if you're the blockers of these players, ang hirap din timingan ng bola nila.
UAAP Season 88 volleyball is in full swing, down to the final 2 games of the eliminations this Saturday and Sunday. Watch the games every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday on the Pilipinas Live app. Also available on the UAAP Varsity channel and on One Sports because legends start here. Legends like my partner, formerly from DLSU, Lady Spikers. Huge amount of wet spots on the side of the Spin Doctors. Our first referee, Jocelyn Del Rosario. Second referee, Joven Racelis. Great officiating so far today. I've been on point. Vince Imperial with a full front line of Calado, Torres, and Caritativo. They are still up by 2. Garcia. Coverage by Diones. Calado. And this one outside, but there's a block touch.
Yes, there was a block touch na even though ang taan ng bola, but Criss thought it was going outside.
This serve into the net for Imperial. Not allowing them to really pull away. So Villados now rotating to the back row. They're in position 1, so he's got a full front line. Caritativo. Here's Garcia. I mean, no amount of double block can intimidate Jude Garcia, right?
That's right. And even though kahit triple block yan nagagawa niya ng paraan, but this time, whenever they need the point, especially ngayon nung mahabol ang crisscross, Jude Garcia is always ready for their squad to get a point.
Former King Cruncher, now part of the coaching staff, Krung Arbasto, complaining about a whistle. They're hearing a whistle. Somebody has a whistle, probably in the arena, and they're blowing it, confusing the players. And our arena PA announcer just telling the crowd, let's not disrupt this beautiful game number 1 of the finals with shenanigans.
That's right. And actually, kahit from us, naririnig din natin yung whistle na yon, and it's really something that will disrupt the play
Yeah.
of these two amazing teams.
Great hit. Calado, that's point number 11. Right now, despite a marginal lead, somehow the Spin Doctors able to protect it, Panay.
That's right, and they're just staying relaxed na even though na kanina ang laki ng lamang nila and humahabol itong Criss. And they're still trying to take care of their point advantage. But they really need to work harder because ito humahabol ang Criss. Kanina as much as 4 points, but 1 point at a time naman itong Criss kinukuha nila yung lamang ng Savouge.
And Jude Garcia, again, they've got to figure out a way to slow Jude Garcia down. You can't stop him completely, but... Austria. Oh, what a shot. He was at a distance from the net, but still got it through this tremendous blocking team, the King Crunchers. Take a look. That's Captain and Colinares. And Austria still finding that slim opening. Still a 2-point lead. Spin Doctors. Gilles Torres, nice serve. Garcia. I mean, how do you stop a problem like Garcia?
And you could hear also from his players sa bench na talagang shouting at him, sige Jude, kaya mo yan. Because they need
I don't
a
think
point.
he needs any more encouragement. Meantime, Ben Pagalay checking in for the first time today. He rarely plays. He has more DNPs, did not play than actual game days. The last 2 games in the semis, he didn't even see action. He was not in the lineup. There's a block by Josafat. Coverage by Bugawan. Calado. Got it. Mark Calado restores a 2-point lead. Spin Doctors.
But even though there was a good block from Josafat, but the coverage from Bugawan was there, and they were able to set up Calado on the opposite.
It's a Calado and Garcia showdown here in set number 2. Villados goes to Garcia. Garcia the drop. And Garcia has wings. And he's doing whatever he wants right now up in the air. Unbelievable mastery.
Agree, and actually that one, I think that's the first drop ball from Jude Garcia since the start of this game. He has been spiking the ball really hard and having good targets. Kaya naman na iwan din yung defense nitong Savouge. They weren't expecting that a drop ball behind the blockers.
Garcia will go to the bench along with Villados as we go to this timeout by the Spin Doctors.
So kailangan papaanda rin si Hero. Si JP, tumba. Hero, babalikan mo lang. Iiwan ka dito ha, iiwan ka dito ha. So huwag mo papaluin dito ha, magpapalit dito tayo ha.
Okay.
Ulit. JP, tumba. Hero, papasok ka doon, babalikan mo lang. Magaling mag-press block yun, singit-singitan mo lang.
Tara.
Well, you heard the voice of assistant coach Maki Carino. This is not a safe lead by any measure, especially so when you're going up against the champions of the Invitational Conference. As you look at Campton Jr.
Good first ball.
Austria, what an angle.
And of course, it all started with that good first ball, and Austria is having the hot hands now for the Spin Doctors, trying to avoid the double block with that sharp cross-court angle.
Austria, this is his best scoring game against the King Crunchers. He's got 4 points as he serves it outside. 1-point game again, 21-20. Easy serve for Campton. Good pass by Marmeto. And that one put away by Shawi Caritativo. Hey, you would love, I mean, again, the antics of Shawi Caritativo, just pouring energy into the Spin Doctors team.
And this is an interesting approach for the open hitters of the Spin Doctors. Usually you would see the open hitters really outside or the sidelines of their court. But this time, pumapasok sila in the middle and setting a short set for their open hitters para maiba yung pwesto ng blockers ng Criss.
Beautiful hang time there on display by Noel Captain, who comes off the bench today.
And it was not a strong hit as well. It was just a good placement right in the middle defense of Savouge.
I believe that's the first point for Noel Captain. King Cruncher still playing catch-up. And Narciso to Torres. Torres has been part of combination plays as a, the fake, but this time he takes it and scores.
But that was a good set as well because sumunod yung blocker sa setter ng Savouge. Kaya naman na-late din yung talon ng middle blocker from that quick hit ni Torres.
2-point lead for the Spin Doctors. 2 points away as well from winning the second set. Imperial, Calado back in the game for this one final push. Adahar, Jaron right on the line. And Jaron is fired up. Game face on.
And he said not yet. And that was a clean hit from Requinton, targeting down the line.
Second player in double digits, Jaron Requinton with 11. Coach Calderon will use their final timeout right now.
Takbo ka dito ha. Sa ulitin lang natin, Chills. Kukuha ka sa gitna, kailangan makumit mo to. Tutumba na ganyan, Sao. Papakita ka lang dito. Babalikan ulit natin. Ilang beses tayo na mablock siya na. Boy, single block pare ha.
Tiwala kayo.
Go, go! Nice! Hey, one day!
Here's that kill by Jaron Requinton, picking up his 11th point down the line.
Actually, ang laki ng space na yun for Requinton. A lot of time for him to target that down the line angle.
But still down by 1, Requinton and the King Crunchers.
Villados already has 15 excellent sets. And he is in the service line, which means Jude Garcia is in the front row for Criss.
Yeah, but that also means Calado is in the front row for the Spin Doctors because Imperial just came from the serve. And now it is 2 set points for the Spin Doctors.
That's right, and you would really expect that the ball would be set up to Calado because he has the hot hand also for Savouge. And ang taas ng attack efficiency niya for this game.
So does it go without saying, expect Garcia to get a hit here?
So we'll see.
Yes,
Yes.
we should. And Garcia will tie the game. Now check that, will save a set point. There's still one more set point for the Spin Doctors.
And right on cue, an open set there for Jude Garcia. Targeting cross court, but that one is straight to Shawi Caritativo.
A headshot by Garcia.
Oh!
Overpass by Austria. And that one put away by Popoy Colinares to tie the game. 2 set points saved, 24 all.
But it was actually a good serve also from Requinton. Take a look at that, a loaded serve. Very good target and biglang bumaba yung bola.
First break point in a while for the King Crunchers. Here comes Calado for the side out. Set point number 3 for the Spin Doctors.
And Jude Garcia was actually there. He went for the open block. But still, you cannot leave the cross court open for Mark Calado. Mahihirapan talaga yung floor defense no ng Criss.
Austria will sit down. Luis Ramirez comes in, so a very intimidating front line here for the Spin Doctors. Garcia against a double block. That dig coming from Torres, but nobody picking up the second touch. And there were a couple of players who could have, Imperial and Calado.
But that was an unfortunate miscommunication on the side of Savouge because we kept on saying na ang hirap pigilan or depensa ng palo ni Jude Garcia, and they were able to do that.
Calado. This dig almost going over. Captain blocked. Requinton keeping it alive. The dig going over. Chance ball here for the Spin Doctors. Calado against a single block. Marcalado punching his fist in the air as he gives the Spin Doctors set point number 4.
And after the miscommunication earlier, this is a good point for Savouge. Finally getting that point and another set point advantage for the Spin Doctors.
What a second set. Good pass, Campton. Campton gets it back. Campton drills it in. Set point saved. We're tied at 26.
This is a very important set number 2, and you could see both of these teams really working hard to get the advantage and to get this set 2.
Good receive by Caritativo. And this one is not coming back. A for effort by June Garcia, but you better be careful. They can't afford for June Garcia to get injured, chasing down a tough get.
But then he tried. I mean, you could see also na medyo he hesitated because he saw that tour cases there.
So Calado giving the Spin Doctors their 5th set point. Served almost outside. Garcia blocked. June Garcia is rejected, if I'm not mistaken, Beneng, for the first time in the match. And what a time for it to come. That is the winning point as the fans of the Spin Doctors rejoice. We're tied at 1 set apiece.
And of course, gustong-gusto nila yun because we kept on saying na ang hirap depensahan, not just on the floor but also on the net. Itong si Jude Garcia and getting that extended set 2 win after that kill block care of Sherwin Caritativo. Grabe yung game na to ng Savouge Spin Doctors.
So expect more sets to come. We're tied at 1 set each. Game number 1 of this best of 3 finals.
Welcome back to the 2026 Spikersturf Open Conference, where we are currently here with the Savouge Spin Doctors assistant coach, Maki Carino. Coach, congratulations po on the second set win. But first of all, let's talk about the first set. Ano pong adjustments ang ginawa ng team para makapag-recover from the first set loss?
Well, yung nagpalit kami ng tao. Siguro inuna namin yung defensive side namin. That's why talagang kumapit yung team doon sa most especially nung pinasok namin si Hero. Nagkaroon kami ng medyo konting pasa, at least, and at the same time, more combination attacks.
Yes, so Coach, ngayon naman, syempre, mahaba pa itong laban natin na to. What does Savouge need to do to secure Finals Game 1?
Sumunod lang doon sa game plan namin. Kasi yung plano namin is depende talaga doon sa system ng kung ano yung pasa namin. And then, execute lang kami ng execute kung ano yung fit doon sa tao doon sa harap ng kalaban and kung sino yung tao na sa harap namin.
Ayun po. So thank you so much again. Once again, this is Assistant Coach Maki Carino. Now that's all from us over here. Back to you, Eric and Panay.
Thank you, Fiona. Well, good luck to Coach Maki Carino. Nice job. Set number 2 for the Spin Doctors.
That's right, and he did mention that they adjusted on their lineup for that set number 2, bringing in Hero Austria. They had better first ball and attack combinations also for the Savouge Spin Doctors. And it was a tighter second set compared to the first set where we saw big separation on the scoreboard. But for set number 2, parang isahan lang or as much as 3 points lang yung lamang ng either squad. And not until the latter part of that set, nagkaroon tayo ng extended set number 2 because both of these squads really ayaw magpatalo or ayaw ibigay lang ang madaling laro for their opponents. And we saw better floor defense also from the side of Criss. But I think the difference from that set number 2 is for Criss, most of their sets sa open hitter nila or opposite. Wala masyadong nabibigay na set sa middle attackers nila. Kaya nababantayan din ng blockers ng spin doctors yung mga sets nila for their wing spikers. And looking at the numbers for that set number 2, spin doctors lumamang sa attack with 20 attack points compared to 16 of Criss. And they were able to get a 2 kill block. And yung isa doon, for that Jude Garcia kill block to close that set number 2. And that was a good game also for Savouge Spin Doctors.
Well, we're given attack efficiency numbers here, Paneng, and despite hitting better in set number 2, King Crunchers losing in an extended set 2.
Well, that's right. And because also nag-adjust na rin itong defense pattern and even the blocking formation of Savouge Spin Doctors na alam na nila na isiset sa mga open hitters nila. And also kay Jude Garcia as their first option on the attack, talking about the King Crunchers. Kaya ang ganda ng adjustments na ginawa dito ng Savouge and they were able to get that set 2 win.
Well, Calado and Garcia, they're not disappointing the fans today with the numbers they're putting up after 2 sets. The 2026 MPTC Tour of Luzon is back. Bigger, bolder, and tougher than ever. Local and international cyclists face a grueling 14-stage battle across 13 provinces, 5 regions, and an 1,800-kilometer test of endurance, speed, and strategy. Don't miss a single moment. Catch all the action live on the Pilipinas Live app, also on One Sports and One Sports Plus.
Talking about the leading scorers for both squads. For Criss, Garcia with 18 points, followed by Riquinton with 11 points. So both of them, sila pala yung nakaka-double digit scores for their squad. But for Savouge, it was only Calado with a double-digit score with 17 points, followed by Bugawan with 6 points.
There's a block on Calado. And a little help from the net for Jude Garcia, falling down as he hit that for the first point of the King Crunchers in set number 3.
And this is also a different starting unit for set number 3 for Criss. Kim Malabunga will be their middle blocker.
Bad pass. Gonna be a free ball for the King Crunchers. Villados goes to Garcia. This one is on the line.
Right on the line, in the corner pocket of the defense of Savouge.
And the Spin Doctors don't see it that way, so they will challenge the call.
An early challenge for this set number 3.
Spin Doctors in their first ever finals appearance. And here's a very quick result, and it's clearly in. I mean, that's how fast the hits are coming from Jude Garcia. You can barely tell. That was clearly in, but it happened in front of the bench of the Spin Doctors, and still, they thought it was outside.
But our lines referee, linesman already saw that it was right on the line.
Another bad pass. Another free ball. King Crunchers, what do? This time to Captain. Captain off the block. Their third straight point for the King Crunchers here in the third set.
Also starting for Criss, itong si Noel Captain. Kanina off the bench siya during the second set. But getting his first point of set number 3 courtesy of that off the block hit.
Got to get a side out here. Calado against a single block. It's outside.
Masyadong iniwas yung bola.
A bad start here for the Spin Doctors, forcing Coach Calderon to use a very early timeout.
Alam niyo anong good yun? Wala pang first technical timeout ay saka second technical timeout. Ibig sabihin, madali lang habulin yung 4. Kailangan na natin pagahin. Pag isa lang blocker, pick mo na sa ano. Wag mo na yung itapat sa ano. Ha? O,
Tara,
tara,
Well, Coach Calderon staying positive despite what's going on, in saying it's still far from the first technical timeout, which means we can easily try and catch up. Luis Gambano on your screen, so not in the lineup today, but obviously here to support the team.
But this is a good start for Criss. If you are Savouge, as much as possible, ayaw mong bigyan ng ganitong momentum ang Criss.
Another opportunity again for a side out. And they finally get it. James Torres drills it in.
And of course, that was a good first ball also from Caritativo. Diretso lang kay Imperial and good with that good first ball. Kaya naman they were able to activate Torres for that quick hit.
Here's a short pass coming from Captain. Captain trying to roll it over. Pancake save by Austria. A chance ball for the King Crunchers. They go to Malabunga, puts it away.
That was the first line attack from their middle attackers, and that was Kim Malabunga. It's his first point of this match. So like what I mentioned earlier, yan yung nawala sa Criss, yung activation ng middle attackers nila during set number 2.
Believe it or not, this is the first game of Malabunga as you see Torres with a second straight point. First game of Malabunga against the Spin Doctors. He did not play in their first 3 meetings. Two serving 5. Good coverage by Garcia. Villados keeping this one alive. The first chance ball for the Spin Doctors in the 3rd set. Bugawan, drop shot, got it.
Well, it was not a fast drop ball. Talagang iningatan yon ni JP Bugawan to drop behind the blockers, but you could see the late reaction of the defense of Criss. Even the front row blockers, talagang pinanood lang nila yung drop ball na yun, but usually pag ganun kaikse, sila yung dapat kumuha ng first ball.
First break point for the Spin Doctors. They get within 2 after trailing by 4 points. Gian Glorioso checking in for the first time today. A service fault, that one is costly. Stops the run of the Spin Doctors to only 2 points. Bugawan. Good coverage defensively by Riquinton. Captain off the block.
I think that was the intention talaga ni Noel Capton, is to find the hands of the blockers at papatamahin lang yung bola doon. Take a look at that point again.
So great point for the King Crunchers. They're back up by 4. Good pass, Marpeto. Combination play. Calado finally sides out for the Spin Doctors.
We're seeing a lot of single blocks for Mark Calado, which just means Imperial is doing a great job in setting because he was waiting for the approach of his middle attacker. And parang may isa-set niya yun sa middle attacker niya, kaya naman nalilate na yung cross-court block for Calado.
And Captain will take us to our first technical timeout, a 4-point lead. King Crunchers against the Spin Doctors, set 3.
Still coming to you live from San Juan, this is the 2026 Spikers Turf Open Conference, where last season, Xavi Caritativo was left in tears after missing out on the finals. Kwento niya sa akin na yun daw ang pinakamulto niya. Munti ka na kami, sabi nga niya. And it was a moment that lingered far after that final point. But instead of letting it haunt her, Xavi chose to move forward, telling herself na bawi na lang kami next season, and now that promise has come full circle. This time, there are no ghosts, only grit. Savouge is finally in the finals, stronger, more complete, and ready to fight for gold. Pinagpursigihan namin ito buong season at buong buo kami. Now for Xavi, this is more than redemption dahil may pagkakataon na siyang makalaya from being haunted by the past to finally facing the moment that they've been chasing. Sabi niya, eto na yun, puksaan na. Balik sa inyo, Eric at Panay.
All right, thank you, Fiona. But right now, they're in a tough battle here in set number 3. This slow start has put them in a 5-point hole. And King Crunchers making an adjustment with their hitting. As you see, Captain serve it to outside. The King Crunchers are looking for fingertips, and that's how they're scoring here.
That's right. And same, but madalas yung set ng Criss napupunta sa mga open hitters nila. And kaya double time itong kanilang mga top scorers, talking about Requinton and Noel Campton. So as much as possible, if they have a good first ball, try to activate their middle attackers kasi yun yung nagiging kulang for Criss. And after that, a kill block. Bugawan really guarding that cross court really well. But if you're Savouge naman, their leading scorer is Mark Calado. And of course, kailangan din niya ng help from their squad para mas ma-distribute yung scoring output ng Savouge.
Captain, another block touch. 4-point lead restored. Glorioso getting ready to serve. And Malabunga is back in the game. Much better pass. Calado off the chest of Glorioso. The Quinton cross-court hit. Marmeto picks it up. Calado again. This time rejected.
Good timing on the block from Criss. They waited for Mark Calado to jump and wait for that hit bago nila penetrate yung block guarding cross-court angle of Mark Calado.
Lead is now 5 for the King Crunchers, but not for long. Caritativo with a side out.
Take a look at that again from Caritativo. Targeting cross-court na late yung middle blocker ng Criss, so leaving a huge space there in the cross-court for Caritativo.
1-2 for Villados. Good job by Imperial. And this hit will be 4 touches against the King Crunchers. Mini 2-point run for the Spin Doctors. Calado, what a reverse set by Imperial from end to end. It's a challenge here, a net fault challenge by the King Crunchers, stopping the play.
I was just looking at the play after that reverse set of Imperial, but I could see the players of Criss jumping, signaling to the referees that there was a net touch.
They couldn't be that adamant without something solid, and yeah, concrete proof right there. And net touch by Vince Imperial.
So that was a good challenge. Successful for Criss.
So that stops the 2-point run for the Spin Doctors. Lead is back to 4. Its biggest was 5 for Villados and the King Crunchers. Good pass by Marmeto. Torres, big going over. Imperial back to Torres, and that's going to be block number 11 for the King Crunchers.
Take a look at that again. Good block by Malabunga. Inantay mo niya tumalon doon si Torres bago siya nag-block.
And the Spin Doctors using their last timeout. Let's listen in.
manageable. Paano natin gawin yan? Paano natin gagawa ng paraan? Right target lang, utak lang, Vince, ito yung sinasabi ko sa'yo. Find the dominant space. And then, yung open natin, wag nyo kasi itulog. Kagaya na ng set kanina kay ano, tapos bilisan nyo na ng pagpasok. Wag mo itulog.
Here is Alas Pilipinas head coach Angelino Frigoni. He has been here since the battle for third. Looking at some of his current Alas Pilipinas players, maybe scouting for some more.
Pwede rin.
Meantime, also another Alas Pilipinas head coach newly announced, right? Taibundit for the Alas Pilipinas women's team. Shawi, this one too close to the net. Garcia, that may have been an overreach. Yeah, clearly an overreach on Jude Garcia. And the coaching staff was about to challenge, and Captain Riquinton telling them it's an overreach. Don't challenge.
Huwag sayangin ang challenge card.
Garcia, dig by Bim Diones. Caritativo, turned away again. Block number 12 for the King Crunchers.
So there's also an adjustment on the timing of the block for Criss. Earlier, the first two sets, parang inuunahan nila sa block yung mga attackers ng Savouge. But this time, there was a delay. And hinahayaan muna nila makapwesto yung attackers ng Savouge hanggang sa makapalo bago nila i-penetrate yung block nila on top of the net.
Back to the biggest lead, 5 points. And that's on the line for Jaron Riquinton. Second leading scorer for the King Crunchers. Biggest lead now at 6 points. Coach Taibundit and the King Crunchers. No more timeouts remaining as you take a look at this beautiful serve. Riquinton sends this one into the net.
But they have a very comfortable 6-point lead.
Ramirez has not been as effective as a lot of the Spin Doctor fans want him to be. Viñados, and there's Malabunga.
Well, you can see the confidence now of Criss. Na set number 3, we're seeing a lot of quick hits from their middle attackers. Now we are at second technical timeout.
Classic Kim Malabunga right there as we hang on the air and revisit our setter matchup between Villados and Imperial. Both have been passing so beautifully here. First 2.5 sets.
That's right, and actually both of these players are really distributing the ball well for their attackers. But for Savouge, actually they had more firepower because we saw even in the start of the first set, quick hits and even combination plays. But yun yung medyo nawala for the side of Criss, especially during set number 2. But this is a good sign for them in set number 3 because they're setting up their middle attackers now. And really iiba na yung pwesto ng defense, not just on the net, but also on the floor for Savouge because mas madami na silang nababantayan ngayon. It's not all open hits or opposite hits coming from Criss.
Malabunga serving. Criss up by 6. Savouge looking for a side out. And there it is. Alado will get the serve back for Savouge.
That's right, a much needed point for the Spin Doctors.
Torres only 3 attack points today. Great pass. And Glorioso rewards captain for the pass by knocking that ball away after the set by Villados.
So setting up your middle attackers really makes a huge difference for either squad because now for set number 3, we're seeing a lot of quick hits from Malabunga and also Glorioso. Kaya nalilate yung block ng Savouge.
Good idea by Calado to target the outer arm of Captain because of the super blocking so far in this set by the King Crunchers. Take a look. Meantime, De La Vega will return along with Narciso. Pepito passes. Captain. That push is returned. Garcia. What a dig. Bim Diones. Terrific defense from the pipe. Ramirez, single man block by Gian Glorioso. Block number 13 for the King Crunchers.
That was actually Louis Ramirez from the back row. And diretso lang yung palo niya. Right at the arm of Glorioso. And usually yung mga pipe attacks ng both squads, talagang iniiwas nila sa blockers. But this time, diretso sa middle block.
Ramirez, drop shot. Saved by Garcia. Requinton. Ramirez with coverage. And Narciso. And that one way outside for Austria, trying to avoid the blockers. And that's what it does to you. You get blocked multiple times. You're second guessing yourself now. And that's what Austria did.
And actually, sobrang iniwasan nga niya yung blockers ng Criss. And hindi rin ganun kalakas yung palo niya. He was just trying to find that angle, but it was just too much. It sailed out.
Biggest lead was 7. It's back down to 6 for the King Crunchers. In full control here of set number 3. Quick serve by Austria. And Austria back-to-back errors. No more timeouts again for Savouge, so they can't really do anything about these errors. Just mentally try to stay sharp as they can. Glorioso serves. Good pass. And Narciso to Ramirez. Another miss hit. And again, it's just the blocking of these King Crunchers intimidating the shots, forcing the Spin Doctors to errors.
But if you're Savouge, as much as possible, try not to avoid the blockers dahil doon pa sila nagkakaroon ng errors. Hopefully, what they needed to do is to have a tighter coverage because they already know that Criss is a good blocking team. And as much as possible, kung iniiwasan nila yung blockers, doon pa sila nakakuha ng errors.
Meantime, Bugawan. Straight to the heart of the defense of the King Crunchers for the side out. Biggest lead was already 8 points. Back down to 7. There's a nice block as Torres gives the King Crunchers a dose of their own medicine.
Ganda ng wave niya na yon for the cross-court block. Take a look at that again.
So first break point in a while for the Spin Doctors. They are within 6 points. This is gettable. Bugawan picks it up from the pipe. Austria. Easy dig for Garcia. Requinton over the top of the blockers with a side out.
I think it was a down-the-line hit for Requinton. Take a look at that again. Medyo may delay din siya sa approach na yun and sa palo niya, and he saw that opening down the line.
Lead back to 7. King Crunchers. Villados serving, so that means a full front line for the King Crunchers. Austria, that's a better pass. De La Vega. Villados with the first touch. Guerrero passes. Austria with coverage. De La Vega again, targeting the fingertips and scoring. Side out for the Spin Doctors.
Well, this is a good sign also for the Spin Doctors na hindi sila nagmamadali whenever they go for their setups and defense. Earlier, makikita mo na even on the service line, nagmamadali din sila, kinakakuha sila ng errors. But as long as they play relaxed, but the moment I said that, another service error for the Spin Doctors, giving free points to Criss. Mahihirapan din dito ang Savouge. But as you can see, because 2 points na lang yung kailangan ng Criss to close this set. So as much as possible, Savouge should stay focused.
Short pass. De La Vega. What a dig. And that one outside for Garcia. A rare attack fault. All right, Jocelyn Del Rosario, first referee, checking with Joven Rosales, the second referee, if there was a touch. No block touch. Point goes to the Spin Doctors. Still a 6-point game. A mountain of a deficit to overhaul. And that's not going to help. Another service fault. Although there's a challenge here for Savouge.
if ever this is outside, I think this is the third service error, third rotation and third service error for the Spin Doctors.
Right now, the point already awarded, at least here at the venue, awarded to King Crunchers. Score sits at 24-17. Unless this is successful, which it is not.
Yeah, it was outside. Unsuccessful challenge for the Spin Doctors, so it's set point for Criss.
Pam Bagalay returning to serve for the King Crunchers. Pam, a multi-awarded player in college. And still, I believe, holds the record, scoring record in the NCAA as he serves it into the net. 45 points he scored in college. Played for Mapua. So one set point given up by the King Crunchers, but still a lot more to overhaul if you're the Spin Doctors. Villados, and Captain delivers the winning point.
And with a good first ball, Criss was going for the combination play, but set up here by Noel Capton. Kaya na-late din yung position ng blocking ng Savouge.
A very comfortable win here in set number 3 for the King Crunchers. And they're up 2-1 going to set 4. After a close and extended set number 2, King Crunchers blew the third set wide open, led by as many as 8 en route to a 7-point win to lead 2-1 after the third set.
Well, we were expecting that Savouge will have a better set on number 3, especially after winning that extended set number 2. But bumagal naman yung pasok nila dito on set number 3. And of course, Criss really determined na makabawi after that loss, and we saw how strong they started with that set and even adjusting their lineup, bringing in Malabunga and Glorioso just to change their attack formation, and we saw a lot of sets for their middle attackers. Kaya naman naiba na din yung position ng blocking and defense ng Savouge, and dun sila nahirapan maka-adjust right away, talking about the Spin Doctors. And Criss saw that and capitalized on that delayed response from the Spin Doctors. And looking at the numbers, attack points lang mga Criss with 12 attack points, and again 4 kill blocks for that set. They were able to get 1 service ace but 7 errors. Still, they have a lot of attack points and also kill blocks that got them that set number 3 win. So that was a very good set for the King Crunchers. But now, this is an important set number 4 also for Savouge. Ang laki nung lamang ng Criss during set number 3. So we will expect also for Savouge na makabawi, especially na alam nila na kung gaano ka-importante din itong game number 1 ng finals. And looking at Criss, I think they will use the same lineup, na the one that they use on set number 3 with Malabunga and Glorioso starting for their squad.
Well, no ifs and buts about it. The fans of Savouge silenced in set number 3. They've got to come alive here in set 4. And a lot of reason to celebrate and bring out the electronic banners if you're Criss, a set away from securing Game number 1. Set 4 is underway from the pipe. Ramirez, that's a good sign for Coach Sydney.
And also changing the lineup on the side of Savouge because Ramirez is now starting for the squad.
Calado. Ooh, that one way outside. So the service problems continue for the Spin Doctors, going back to the tail end of set number 3. Meanwhile, Requinton already with 15 points, second leading scorer for the King Crunchers, right behind the 20 of Jude Garcia. Bad pass by Calado, out of system play. And this one outside for Ramirez. Again, bothered by the double block of the King Crunchers.
And there was no spin from that open hit of Ramirez.
13 blocks already for Requinton and the King Crunchers. Only 6 blocks throughout the game for the Spin Doctors. Meanwhile, a bad pass forcing Imperial to an error. Just like that, after that nice attack point by Ramirez to start off set number 4, already a 2-point lead for the King Crunchers. Ramirez that was only his second point of the game. Well, King Crunchers generous enough to give a free point.
Biglang bumaba din yung serve ni Requinton. It went straight to the net, giving a free point to the Spin Doctors.
Torres with 4. Good pass by Campton. Garcia now with 21.
21 big points for Jude Garcia. But there was a block touch on the side of Savouge na kaya napabagal na nila yung daan ng bola going to their side, but yung floor defense nila was not that solid.
Here's a much better pass. Bugawan. Villados sets it up. Back to Jude. Jude is blocked. Coverage by Requinton. Villados goes back to Garcia. And this one is good. What a cut shot.
Right, changing his target. That was a sharp cross-court from Jude Garcia. So this is also a huge adjustment for the side of Savouge because De La Vega will be their opposite hitter, which means Mark Calado will play as a open hitter for their squad, diagonal kay Louie Ramirez.
Wow, Ramirez from the open knocks it in. Good answer by the Spin Doctors. That's a side out, keeping it a 2-point game. Ramirez now with 3. 2 of his 3 points coming in the 4th set. Campton got it. Campton now with 8.
Good set by Villados. Waiting for the approach of Glorioso. Kaya medyo sumabay doon si JP Bugawan. Na late siya for the cross-court block kay Noel Campton.
A lot of service faults for the King Crunchers here in set 4. Obviously, for a very welcome development if you're the Spin Doctors.
Hindi ganun kalakas din yung serve ng Criss compared to the earlier sets na talagang loaded and well targeted.
And speaking of targeting, Jude Garcia continues to punch holes to the defense of the Spin Doctors. That is point number 23.
And magandang bawi yun after his service error. And take a look at that target down the line.
Already 11 service faults for the King Crunchers. 1 less than the Spin Doctors at 12. Good dig by the King Crunchers. This one outside. Requinton saying there's a touch, and first referee Del Rosario agrees. Although the Spin Doctors do not, that means a challenge here by Coach Calderon.
Medyo mataas din yung daan ng bola ni Requinton. But the first referee saw that there was a block touch, but convinced ang blockers naman ng Savouge that there was no block touch. So they will use their first challenge card for this set number 4.
Spin Doctors highly retooled in this open conference after the Super Spikers disbanded in the off-season. Spin Doctors down 2-1 here in set 4. Three out of the 6 players you see on your screens are from different teams. De La Vega from Navy, and then Ramirez Bugawan from the Super Spikers. Calado, also a former Super Spiker, back when they were still called the HD Spikers. Ooh.
Oh,
All right, so it was close, but no touch. So a successful challenge for Coach Sydney Calderon. Now she's asking who will serve. And it is JP Bugawan. Captain with a good pass again. Here's Quinton. Ramirez digs it up. Calado gets point number 21.
that was a good angle for Mark Calado. Nakabantay sa down the line yung blockers ng Criss. And ang layo sa right arm or spiking arm dito ni Calado. Kaya ang laki din ang space na yun for him.
Break point for the Spin Doctors. They are within 1 and a monster block to tie the game for Jils Torres.
1-on-1 in the middle. Take a look at that again. Good timing on the block.
Torres is 6'1". Glorioso is 6'4". Right there. Huge leaping ability by Torres. And we're tied at 7. Bad pass by Campton. So a rare chance ball. Spin Doctors here in set 4. Torres comes up short on what could have been their first lead since 1-0 here in set 4. 8-7. King Crunchers back on top after this attack ball by Jils Torres.
Medyo ang baba ng contact na yun ni Jils Torres. No block touch. Outside, 4 touches. First technical timeout here by Criss.
You're still tuned in to the 2026 Spikersturf Open Conference, where 4-time MVP Jude Garcia stands on the edge once again, hungrier, tougher, and unshaken. He remembers the sting of past silver medal finishes and doesn't want a repeat. After 3 painful heartbreaks, Criss knew that clinching the championship was only the beginning. This only deepened their fire, and now there's no room for regret, only relentless focus. Hindi pwedeng mawala ng kumpiyansa sa sarili, sabi nga niya. Kailangan maging eager bawat isa. Kahit sino sa aming lahat, kaya mag-contribute, sense of urgency lang talaga. Now today, Jude steps into the moment with everything on the line. Dahil para sa kanya, hanggat walang final whistle, hindi kami titigil. Back to you, Eric and Panay.
All right, thank you, Fiona. Campton restores the lead for the King Crunchers.
And it was not a strong hit from Noel Campton. It was just a very good target, waiting for the arms of the blockers, getting that off the block point.
Take a look at the number of excellent sets now for Villados, 23. Torres makes up for the attack ball to tie the game at 9.
And there you go. Ang ganda ng bawi niya na yun from Torres. A good
6 points
setup.
now for Jils. Calado serving for the lead. Pepito, perfect pass. Here comes the Quinton. Got it.
Opposite hit from Requinton. It was a good setup as well because they waited for the approach of their middle attacker. Requinton loving that point.
16 already for Jaron. Good pass by Calado. Ramirez, single blocker off his head, goes over the net. So Garcia had to save it. Good coverage in the back zone by Calado. Ramirez again, blocked. De La Vega pops it up. Easy over now by Ramirez. Chance ball for the King Crunchers. Here comes Malabunga. What a dig for Calado. Ramirez keeping it alive. De La Vega pushes it all the way outside.
Sayang, that was a long rally. Both squads, ang ganda ng floor defense nila and coverage. But it ended with that long ball over of De La Vega. I think he was targeting the long ball corner of Criss because yung defense nila ang sikip for the coverage.
So break point here for the King Crunchers. They've scored 2 in a row. One side out, one break point. Calado overpass. And that's gone. Malabunga puts it away.
And this is the difference now when Criss loads on their service. Nahihirapan makakuha ng first ball itong Savouge. Earlier we saw some service errors kasi masyado na lang iniingatan yung serve nila.
Passing problems for the Spin Doctors midway through set number 4. They've got to rectify this immediately. De La Vega backs up for the shot. Out of system play for Campton. Campton off the fingertips. And the run continues. Another break point for the King Crunchers. Timeout, Spin Doctors.
Okay, una muna, maganda nakikita ko naman yung depensa tayo. Number 2, napapabagal na natin yung bola sa taas. Ang kailangan na lang natin, huwag tayo masyadong bumaba para mabilis natin mahabol. Sayang napapabagal na. Ito yung rotation natin na maano talaga negative. So kaya kailangan natin kumuha ng puntos kaagad. O receivean natin, porsyento ka dito. Hey, that's good!
Here's Campton's 10th point of the game. He's the 3rd player in double digits and giving the King Crunchers their biggest lead.
That's right, but it all starts with a good serve from the King Crunchers. Talagang forcing Savouge to have not to have a good first ball, but also for the attackers of Criss, hindi nila masyadong lalakasan yung bola nila. Straight to the arms of the blockers of Savouge. They try to hit the ball on top of the blockers at the highest point, kaya rin nahihirapan makakuha ng net defense ang Savouge.
Another bad pass from Marmeto, but Ramirez threads the needle and knocks it in. What a side out for Louis Ramirez, picking up his 5th point. Now 4 of those points coming here in set number 4.
That was a good one again from Ramirez. Ang layo ng position ng blockings ng Criss, and Ramirez saw that cross-court angle.
Good serve by Torres, but a better pass. And Malabunga delivers a kill.
Take a look at that again. Na-late yung blockers ng Savouge and Malabunga saw that. Kaya diniin na niya diretso yung bola.
Here's a good pass, combination play, but still Garcia. That's block number 14 now for the King Crunchers.
That was a single block.
Garcia with 24. And now a 5-point lead, King Crunchers. Bukawan blocked again, this time by Josafat. Nothing is going through for the Spin Doctors.
Grabe yung pwesto ng blockings itong Criss. Really, nababasa na nila yung mga setups ng Savouge. Kaya kahit single block lang, nakakuha pa sila ng puntos. Second technical timeout, Criss up by 6 points.
A terrific run. Straight to the technical timeout for the King Crunchers. This is their biggest lead already in set number 4. Let's revisit the semis meeting between these two teams. where the King Crunchers lost in 5 against the Spin Doctors.
But it was a tight 5-set match for both of these squads. Though nanalo yung Savouge ng first set, but I think what's important is the 5th set dahil kumapit dito ang Savouge and humabol lang sila sa lamang ng Criss and they were able to get that win after a huge hard work for their squad, and you could see talaga going back on that game na kung gaano sila ka-determined to get that win, because like what we mentioned earlier, nasa mga meetings itong both squads during the eliminations, twice na nanalo yung Criss, and first time nila makakuha ng panalo doon against King Crunchers.
De La Vega down the line, Malabunga with a perfect dig. Chance for a kill from the pipe. Calado gets it for the Spin Doctors.
He was the one who got that first ball, but a good setup as well. Only one blocker in front of him, and even though back row hit yun, usually we see double block or even a triple block on the back row.
22 for Calado. There's a block by Bugawan on Campton. Villados goes back to Noel, and Noel will get the side out for the King Crunchers.
Again, balik sa 6 points ang lamang nitong King Crunchers.
11 now for Campton as De La Vega will get a rest. Mats Gampong checking in for the first time today. Coach Calderon looking for a spark, looking for a change, looking for something. Ramirez down the line. That's a much better look for Louis Ramirez.
But it was also a very good set from Narciso. You could see na medyo bumaba pa siya, dinelay niya yung set niya, waiting for his attacker's approach and setting up Ramirez there for the open hit.
Good pass by Pepito. The Quinton is blocked, coverage by Villados. Pepito will set it up for Campton. Campton against a triple block, and he misses. It's called out. And, yep, no challenge here for the coaching staff of Taibundit. Four-point game. A mini two-point run here for the Spin Doctors. Garcia again splits the blockers and goes cross-court for the kill.
Sabi ni Garcia, tama na dahil may mini run na itong Savouge Spin Doctors. And take a look at that back row hit in between two blockers and even in between two defenders on the floor from Savouge. It was not that good. Also yung reaction nila talking about the floor defense of the Spin Doctors after that back row hit.
Lloyd Josafat returning. Calado. Almendras also back in the game as Calado is rejected. This is getting away from the Spin Doctors in set number 4.
Good separation on the scoreboard here for set number 4. And that's the difference also if you see na yung leading scorer nyo sinet up na parang you're thinking na automatic kill na yun or automatic point. Nakakalimutan nila makapwesto na maayos on the coverage.
Meantime, Mats Gampong with his first point of the game going down the line. Challenging Bernard Guerrero. And they're going to need a lot more of that. And then some. Still a 5-point game in favor of the King Crunchers. Here comes the Quinton.
It was a quick side out for the King Crunchers.
It's just automatic right now for the King Crunchers. Whatever they touch turns into a point. Parmento with the right pass. Ramirez. Easy dig for Garcia to Quinton again. And net touch on Torres. And right now the Spin Doctors are falling apart. And timeout for Coach Sidney Calderon.
Okay lang. Ano na lang, pilitin na lang natin makakuha ng momentum. Isang ikot lang para makakita. Guys, tara. Isa patay lang.
smell pa rin.
Here's the net violation against Torres. On the way down, entire right side of his body, scratching the net. And now a 7-point lead for the King Crunchers, almost insurmountable with the way King Crunchers are playing and with the way the Spin Doctors are struggling. Ramirez off the block and outside.
But still, this is a comfortable lead for the King Crunchers. They only need 4 points to close this match, and still a mountain to climb here for the Spin Doctors.
De La Vega and Imperial, they are back on the floor. Let's see if their entry changes the complexion of this set for the Spin Doctors. There's a block by Calado on Malabunga. Garcia. Nice dig for Diones. De La Vega. Yes! So back-to-back points right off the bench. De La Vega with a huge side out.
But it all started with that good defense from Diones and a reverse set there by De La Vega. Nag-delay pa siya dun sa approach niya because the set was a bit too high for him, but he was still able to convert that into a point.
Campton checks back in for Almendras. Oh, but that's a costly error for Vince Imperial.
Yeah, that was a bit unfortunate. Kasi they're trying to have a good run.
One-handed set. And the dig by Guerrero. Here comes Reguinton. It's outside. So, quick side out for the Spin Doctors, but they need to score break points here. Down by 5. Still a manageable deficit if you're Calado and company. Could serve, but a better pass. And Reguinton left with only one blocker after one went with Malabunga.
Pinabawi naman siya doon ni Villados after his attack error when he went for the open hit. But this time, combination play, middle set there for Reguinton.
Imperial to Torres. Torres with a side out. And this is not going to be enough.
Well, they will need more of that. But for them to be able to execute their plays and have a better attack efficiency, they need to have a good first ball. And it all started also from the good first ball of Calado. They were able to activate Torres in the middle.
Dan Nicolas checking in for the first time for Gilles Torres. Good serve. Short pass coming from Pepito. Ramirez keeping this alive. Calado through the block of Malabunga. And a side out. Now check that. That's a break point for the Spin Doctors.
Nakakala natin na kill block na, but actually pumasok yun on the side of the King Crunchers.
From down by as many as 7, it's a 4-point game. Campton off the block, kept alive by De La Vega. Very good reflexes, very high set. Ramirez block, Ramirez keeping it alive. Calado. Reguinton popping it up. Here comes Jude Garcia. Tough cover. There's a nice block by the Spin Doctors. Garcia again, and this time he gives the Spin Doctors match point.
Sa bilis ng palo ni Jude Garcia, hindi na natin napansin kung saan tumaan yung bola. And ang nipis ng down the line angle na yun from him.
May have tweaked his ankle a little bit. That left ankle, he's loosening it up. Seems to be okay. This is 5 match points for the King Crunchers. Bugawan, 1 match point saved. Still 4 more for the King Crunchers.
They need to play perfect volleyball here, talking about the spin doctors. If they want to tie things up, because they are down by 4 points and the King Crunchers only need 1 point to close this match.
Bugawan in double digits now with 10, and there's the winning point. Well counted off the bench today, but still as lethal as ever.
Yes, it all started with a good first ball, but actually this is a very good game for the King Crunchers. Even though they lost that second set, but it was a tight one. It was an extended second set, but they were able to bounce back and regroup and getting this third and fourth set win and getting the game one of the finals.
Captain, third player in double digits for the King Crunchers, and what a closeout point that was for the former DLSU Spiker. Official score, a 4-set win here for the King Crunchers as they secure game number 1 of this best-of-3 finals against the Spin Doctors.
It was a good run also for the Spin Doctors, even though they lost the first set. But kinapitan nila yung second set. But yun nga lang, parang hindi na nila nahawakan yung magandang momentum coming from that second set win. And they lost the third and fourth set. But still a good game for the Spin Doctors.
We're back inside the San Juan Arena, and the confirmation 4-set win in game number 1 of this best-of-3 finals by the Spin Doctors by the King Crunchers against the Spin Doctors, as we look at highlights of that set 4.
Well, actually, after winning that set number 3, 25-18, the momentum is on the side of the Criss King Crunchers. Their adjustments in the lineup worked really well for them, and they used the same lineup for set number 4, and they were able to capitalize on their set plays and more aggressive offense. Talking about the King Crunchers, confusing the floor defense and even the net defense of the Savouge Spin Doctors. And same story in set number 3. Savouge was not able to adjust quickly from the different setups of the King Crunchers. And same thing happened during set number 4. But the Spin Doctors tried to cut down the lead from the Criss with just 4 points. But I think it was a bit too late now for them, especially the
the King Crunchers only needed 2 points to close that match. And looking at the numbers, hindi naman ganun kalaki yung lamang ng attack points ng Criss, but they had better net defense with 3 kill blocks and lesser errors to only 5 errors. And also the start of that set number 4, ang laki na kagad ng lamang ng Criss, kaya rin nahirapan makahabol yung Spin Doctors, and definitely getting this game winning in 4 sets.
3 players in double digits, including Jude Garcia and Will Hampton, but it is Jaron Riquinton who wins our Best Player Award. Right now, he is with Fiona Bacani.
Yep, so we are currently here with our best player of the game, of course, none other than Jaron Riquinton, as golden as his hair. Jaron, congratulations! Alam kong hindi magiging madali itong best of 3 series. Nakita niyo naman kanina, naggutom na gutom din itong Savouge na manalo dahil kung nasan kayo last year, andun na sila ngayon. So anong klaseng adjustments ang kailangan gawin ng team to close out the series in the next game?
Siguro about sa adjustments, mas pinag-aralan siguro namin yung mga galaw nila from the past game, especially nung natalo kami nung semifinal. So, mas polish sa blocking, sa defense, sa first ball, actually sa all around. Kailangan talaga may polish lahat, and yung laging nire-remind sa amin is yung happy-happy namin sa loob ng court, which is yun yung big factor kung bakit kami nag-enjoy and ba't kami nanalo for this Game 1. Kaya, ayun, nag-work naman yung mga pinagtrabahuan namin for the past 2 days. Kaya sana magtuloy-tuloy.
And speaking of tuloy-tuloy, syempre, ito na. You are now 1 game away from another goal. Jaron, anong tumatakbo sa isip mo ngayon?
Sa ngayon, 1 game at a time lang din kami talaga. So, ngayon, natapos na yung Game 1, nakuha namin. Thank you, Lord. And ngayon, focus naman kami for Game 2 kung ano pa yung dapat naming itama sa loob ng court. So, feel ko, yun yung pagtutuunan namin ng pansin bukas sa training. And focus din siguro sa recovery. Kasi yun yung mahalaga. Kasi parang isang araw lang yung pagitan ng game. So, kailangan fast recovery talaga, mindset ng maayos, and syempre, alagaan din yung mga katawan namin kasi yun yung gagalaw talaga para makuha namin yung pinaka-goal namin for this conference.
And so thank you so much again, Jaron. Pero bago tayo umalis, meron ka pang gustong batiin ng mga nanonood sa iyo. Go
Hi,
ahead.
binabati ko yung family ko dyan sa Bulacan and sa Mindanao. Hello sa inyo. Tunang family, Sir Jonathan. Hello po. Si Ma'am Lizan, Sir Alan, hello po. To Alliance family and World Balance family, hello po. Sa Criss fans, maraming salamat sa pagsuporta sa amin. Samahan nyo pa rin kami sa Game 2 this coming Friday dito sa San Juan Arena. Hope to see you guys. Thank you so much.
And so thank you so much again, and congratulations to Jaron and the rest of our King Crunchers, the defending champions, now just 1 win away from another gold. Now that's all from us over here. Back to you, Eric and Paning.
All right, thank you, Fiona. Congratulations. Polished game indeed for Jaron Riquinton and the King Crunchers, Paneng.
That's right, and actually like what you mentioned as well, there are a lot of players from the King Crunchers who scored double digits, but Riquinton was very consistent all throughout the game since the start of the first set until the set 4 win, with 10 receptions and 8 digs to his name as well.
And like what Jaron mentioned, we're going to be back here on Friday for game number 2 of the finals of the Open Conference. Starts at 3 p.m. Battle for third between the Insurance Protectors and AP Capstars, and then game number 2 between the Spin Doctors and the King Crunchers. Thanks to our director, Raul De Ocampo, game producer Nick Earnshaw, for Fiona Bacani. My name is Königswarder. I'm Eric Ipan. We'll see you again. Game number 2 Friday. Don't miss it. It's the Open Conference Finals of the Spikersturf right here on your signal channels.